r/AskReddit by Reddition. Like and subscribe. What's a scientific fact that creeps you out? Caterpillars turn completely into goo in their cocoon and then become a butterfly. Edit. This blew up. According to my inbox, many people have been creeped out. A good day's work, and there is evidence they retain memories from their pre-goo days. Memories of strong positive/negative stimuli that they show preference for/aversion to, even after metamorphosis. The brain can play tricks on you. When you look at a clock and the second hand seems to freeze for a moment, your brain is actually generating a false memory, and your perception of time stretches slightly backward. This effect is called chronostasis. That so many vegetables came from the same plant. Broccoli, kale, kohlrabi, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, etc. They are, botanically speaking, the same species. Humans have just bred them to emphasize different traits, buds, leaves, tubers. Imagine if humans were as genetically flexible. Imagine a person walking around with giant toes, but otherwise normal. Actually, plant genetics in general is a weird world. Because of some pesticides used, roaches won't go anywhere near a meth lab. Edit. Didn't expect this much after reading some RPF. For those of you who are asking, meth labs have been known to produce toxic gas, like phosphine, which a common insecticide. Phosphine is often used in silos to deal with vermins. Parasites can live anywhere inside of you, for years unnoticed. A simple migraine could be a tapeworm crawling in your brain, causing damage. Your eyes begin to blur frequently, and you don't know why, and it's not getting better. Losing weight and having diarrhea, but it's not a stomach bug. Well, I guess it is. You are having a difficult time catching your breath and your chest doesn't feel right. It could just be some parasite hanging out, using you. Some mutations of just one letter in the DNA code can kill the fetus almost instantly, but some people live and have a seemingly healthy life while missing a whole chromosome. If you understand anything about biology, that's completely wild. I think mutations in cytochrome C are pretty much lethal, and cytochrome C has barely changed in millions of years. Your brain literally creates your own reality and your senses and body just go along with it. And this accurately explains how schizophrenics truly believe the voices they hear, or their other delusions are correct. Something in their wiring of how to interpret the world has gone wrong, and their brain is only making sense of the reality that it is being shown. You get and cure cancer in your own body thousands of times a day. Excuse me, what? Your body produces thousands and thousands of cells with damaged DNA. It's a bit of exaggeration to call them cancer, but if any of these cells were to survive, they could become cancerous. Your immune system destroys them before they get to that point. This is also why, if you were to live forever, you would eventually get cancer, because the chances of your body missing them statistically increases. This occurs thousands upon thousands upon thousands of times a day. The first AI that can successfully pass the Turing test would be able to pretend that it couldn't. That as the permafrost melts, a lot of locked up methane will be released, and microorganisms there will wake up and do their jobs, breaking down organic matter and release more methane and greenhouse gases. A gamma ray burst could wipe out all life on Earth instantly with no warning. Your brain is making decisions before you are even aware of the decisions it has made. It also makes decisions based off of learned behavior, and you just go along with it. A study actually showed your limbs, fingers, toes, etc. react to stimuli before your brain sends the response to do so. The sudden urge to jump off of a very high height. You can be physically and mentally stable to the greatest degree and still have this feeling when at such a high height. Thinking about how breathing and lungs work freaks me out. Once I start thinking about it, all I can think about is my breathing, and then I have to force myself to stop thinking about it. Most of the water on the earth will rain down at some point. The creepy fact about this is that the human body is 60% water, meaning that at some point the same water that runs through your body, the one in your blood, bones, brain, etc. Obligate sublicide. In some species of animals, multiple offspring are born, but only one is actually raised by the mother. The others are born only as backup in case the firstborn doesn't survive. When the firstborn is fine, which is the typical case, it kills the others. There is more microorganisms on your body than people on Earth. When the Titanic sank, none of the shoes decomposed, so there's tons of shoes at the bottom of the ocean. Free shoes. After being decapitated, there's still few seconds of brain activity that happen before you snuff out. We know more about the moon than we do our own oceans. It's rare, but you can die at any moment for literally no reason at all. Your body just stops working. Just unplug it, then plug it in again. The existence of prions. There is something called the squeeze, where when people had old scuba suits with tubes, you could actually get sucked into that tube if the pressure was off. You are literally shredded through your own breathing tube. Apparently, the following statement creeps others out. Your bones are wet. The average number of legs for the human population is less than 2. Same could be said for arms, but I'll top your creepy fact with this one. The average number of heads per body is more than 1. The mantis shrimp can see colors that our eyes aren't capable of perceiving. Think about that. What else are we just not capable of sensing? There is a supermassive star 7600 light years away named Eta Carinae. It is about 200 times the mass of our sun. Its size is about the size of our entire solar system. It is 5 million times brighter than our sun. And it is very near supernova. It might have already happened, and the shock wave is on the way. It probably is far enough away to where it won't destroy our solar system. Probably. That all of the COVID-19 virus that exists, and has killed millions, would fit inside a Coke can. Honestly, nothing is more creepy than how deep sea anglerfish mate. The deep sea is dark, and the anglerfish are spread very thinly. Therefore, when an anglerfish meets another anglerfish, it's incredibly important they get the chance to mate over and over again. The evolutionary strategy that deep sea anglerfish devised is extra creepy. The male latches onto the female, biting her and never letting go. That way he can inseminate the eggs she drops. Not that bad so far, right? But wait, how does he eat if he's latched on his mate? Well, the circulatory systems fuse and the female provides nutrients for the male through this fused circulatory system. The true horror starts here. The organs of the male start to wither and atrophy, being absorbed into the female. Eventually, the male is reduced to a lump of testicles the females use to fertilize their eggs. Females are often covered in bumps of several males that have melted into the female, becoming a literal body horror lump of meat on the female. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for daily Reddit videos.